I ran up a check, I might do it again. Enemies close, had me thinking they're friends. 10 toes down, I'll be free until the end. Crib outside the city, I don't feel safe in my hands. Took so many years, I'm just waiting for the wins. I'm in debt to no one but the one who took my sins. I do it for real, there's no reason to pretend. If I do it once, I do it again. Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up, I'm just doing me, everything is on me.
Hello everyone, welcome to the Spot Real Talk. My name is Tiara.
I'm LaWanda.
I'm Tiffany.
I'm Ron.
And today we are back to talk about Power Force. This is season 1, episode 8, and it was titled He Ain't Heavy. So if you guys hang tight, we'll be right back with you. We are back to talk about Force. This episode, some of my predictions came true.
Mine too.
I knew Gloria was gonna die. I just didn't think it was gonna happen like this.
Yeah, we knew.
Listen,
she was on the short list.
Yeah, and they were looking too happy. You know, I always say that there's rarely any happy endings on Power. So I was like, oh, they ain't gonna make it out the city.
Yeah.
So is Vic gonna blame himself because he didn't take the untraceable vehicle, or is he gonna blame Tommy because Tommy put it in his head that he needed to leave?
See, that's a good question. And because I think for now he's gonna be so psyched and messed up. You know, he's not going to think about himself. But you're absolutely right. You know, had he taken the car that was cleaned and everything like Tommy said, you know, he might have made it out. But no, he's not going to, you know, my thing is he going to blame his dad? I think that's the first person he's going to come after.
That's a good point, because one of our spotters tweeted us and asked the same thing, like, who is he going to blame? Is he going to blame his dad? Or is he gonna blame Tommy? And I was like, you better not blame Tommy. Is it because he asked to be in with the Serbs, and his daddy was the one that, you know, pretty much pulled up on the Serbs. And then, you know, Tommy gave him a chance. He gave him a clean slate, like his car was clean. And had he taken that, they might have been alive. Yeah. I mean, well, Gloria may have been alive.
Mm-hmm. I think right now, like initially, he's blaming himself. Because I think he felt like when he was in that car and they were just kind of sitting there, I know he's probably like, dang, like I should have just took off, or I should have jumped over to cover her or something. Like, I think initially he's like, dang, I should have done more to protect her. I think once he gets a chance to marinate on it, I think he's going to blame Tommy and his father, because remember, Paulie came to him and told him that Walter offered Tommy a position. So I think right now he's thinking Walter and Tommy are in cahoots, like they're together on this. And maybe Tommy told him that as a ploy to get him out of town so that Tommy can really like take over with his father.
Yeah, that's what he thinks. He's thinking that Tommy tried to get him out of town so he could join his dad, but Tommy warned him to get out of town. That wasn't a light warning. He said, I met with your dad, and, you know, your dad has it in for Gloria, and you need to protect her at all costs. And, you know, you can't overlook that, Vic. You know,
that's what I was going to say. I was going to say, for one thing, you know, he said, even if you don't believe me, believe that I will protect her. And that's one thing that we saw, that Tommy likes Gloria. If it wasn't for the Vic thing, he would have still been over there. Trust.
And Vic knows Tommy likes Gloria. So, you know, I can't see Vic blaming Tommy any kind of way, because Tommy would not have wanted Gloria to get hurt. So if he does that, then he's really off his rock. And, you know, he's way out there.
Yeah. And I guess the other part of it too is once Tommy finds out, who is he going to blame? Because I think he's going to be after Walter even more now. Like because Walter, when they were sitting down talking and he offered Tommy a role in his organization, he told Tommy, I wish you were still sleeping with Gloria So then you can see how this ends. And so like, I don't think that Tommy will take it lightly that, okay, you just said that and now she's dead.
Oh yeah.
He's gonna have an issue with that.
Yeah, in fact, that makes even a lot. That's why I think Tommy would be really pissed at Walter. He'll probably think Walter had something to do with it, because what Walter was saying in essence is, if you were still sleeping with her, you know, you would feel the pain that might be inflicted on my son, something to that effect. But that to me is a warning too. That's like, yeah, I'm about to take care of this problem, and I wish you were still sleeping with her so you can feel the pain.
Yeah. And I know that, Vic really went out on a limb to try to leave his family. He paid off Gloria's debt. He sold the land. And so I was like, that was like so major for him to finally muster up the strength to get away from his family. And now it's destroyed. Yeah. So I think he's coming back with a vengeance.
Oh, I think so too. I think Vic's going to be savage. And who knows, he may even join Tommy. I mean,
Right, because I think Tommy will convince him that I had nothing to do with this, and even the fact that it was a Serb that came up to the car and shot at them, like I think that he has to take that into consideration. Like, dang, like they were just shooting at us last week.
Right, I was gonna say this ain't the first time.
Yeah, so I think that he has to take that into consideration once that all marinates. Because if you looked at the previews for next week, it looks like Glenn is telling Claudia to prepare for war. So I think that they truly do believe it was the Serb. And Tommy is like, he seems like he's questioning whether it's the Serbs. He was like, Walter can't possibly believe the Serbs did this to Vic. So I don't even know if Tommy at that point in the previews for next week knows that Gloria is dead, because he said like did this to Vic and not to Gloria. So I'm still wondering how he's going to find out about it and when.
I tell you, Claudia, she don't need to go too, because he flat out told her before, last week, about going behind his back. And what did she do? I was like, she may have to go.
Yeah, directly told her not to go to CBI.
Yeah. And I think with Claudia, I think she was really stupid in taking the deal with Tommy, because right now they're splitting it down the middle. Like they kind of have like equal percentages, I believe. But she said that she wants a bigger role. Like she was like, I know I told you I wanted to be kind of in the background and let you take the lead, but now I'm reconsidering. And so he's like, okay, well, you take the clubs and I'll take the streets. And I think that's always a bad idea because of what we've seen in the initial Power. You know how Ghost Club kept getting shut down. And, when your business can't run, you can't distribute your drugs through the club. So that's always a liability. So I just thought that was stupid of her to take the clubs.
But two things. Tommy has 60%. He didn't give that up. It's 60-40. And what he simply said, you want to run things. So you run the club, I'll run the street, which I think is a good proposition for her. And obviously she thought so too. Secondly, she's white. And I don't think that the police are going to be as strict with her club as they were with Ghost in terms of, what's going on in there. So, and I hate to put it that way, but that is life. I don't see her having the same problems Ghost would have. And apparently she seems to think she can get it done because she seemed to like the idea. Now, getting back to what I think you said, Tiffany, a minute ago, and then LaWanda, this girl gets the hands this week because what did she do? She went right down to CBI, and my boy Diamond showed his intelligence. He get game ball this week because he showed himself this week.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
he deserves a game ball this week.
He got good sense. Sense.
Yes, Diamond definitely showed us he is not a simp.
Yes.
That's right. He came through with old girl, let her know that I know what you know.
Yeah.
I think Claudia reacted to Walter checking her and making demands and giving her ultimatums. And I get that, but it was still a very dumb move of her. Like,
I'm sorry.
Which makes me think he's right. She's not ready.
She's too busy trying to flex. She wants his approval too. She's so busy trying to prove that she can do this. She's going to mess stuff up.
Well,
Yeah.
another thing is too, people don't understand what it takes to be a leader, because to be a leader, you also have to be a great follower. So if you can follow and take direction, that makes you ultimately a great leader. And that's what we see lacking in Claudia. She doesn't want to take any kind of, suggestions, or she doesn't want to follow anybody. Certainly, she kind of bucked up on Tommy to try to make him see it her way. And Tommy was already there. So Tommy makes 2 or 3 chess moves before she can make one. And when she said to him, she wants it, she wants to get high or do more. And he was right there with her. He said, okay, you take the clubs and I'll take the street. You do your thing, I'll do mine. But going behind Tommy's back is not the thing to do.
Yeah, and you were right about Claudia trying to flex, because it seems like, when Walter told her, like, I'm going to crush whatever you're doing, like, I think that put the drive in her even more. And then, Walter has now given Vic the task to figure out what she's up to. But Paulie tried to tell Walter, he was like, you pushing these kids away. And he's like, I don't really think that's the best idea. Like, you really need to get with the times, because like there's this new drug on the market. We're missing out on opportunities. And now you're pushing your children away. He's like, I'm not going to be the one wiping your butt and shoveling the dirt over your grave. So, I mean, who do you think is going to do it?
The funny thing with Walter is he said he's been doing, I guess they've been doing the coke thing for 3 decades. And he doesn't think that times change, that you got to get with the new program, that you can just.
Well, look at his views. His views have not changed, and stuff. So I'm not surprised that his business is dated.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I don't want to blame that on old age. I think I'm just going to blame it on.
I'm not saying old age. I know you're not. His views.
No, I agree. I'm just saying my initial thought was old age, but I'm not going to blame old age. It's just that he's so one-sided with his business, or just afraid to move into something new and different.
But you know what? I kind of learned something new this week, because Paulie is Polish, I'm guessing. Mm-hmm. And so that's what he said. And so, so he kind of went against the grain, teaming up with a Pole and having him as his, second man. And so I'm wondering why he's even hesitating to go against the grain in other aspects if he would do it with Paulie.
Paulie's still white.
Well, yeah, he is still white, but it seems like even amongst the whites, like they still have their own divisions.
Yeah, they do.
So,
the brother-in-law. He's the brother-in-law, though.
Right.
So that changes it, right?
But that's the whole idea of what white dominance, I'm not going to say the S word, dominance, is that they band together based on that. It's like group politics, right? Mm-hmm. What is the one thing that we have in common that we can band together and work together on? And so I think that's why it's easier for him to work with Polly than it would be for him to cross the bridge and go work with the South Side.
But Paulie showed me something this week, because he is willing to go against Walter and what Walter wanted, which was to put the hit on Gloria. And he's like, I never put the hit out there. Yeah. So I was like kind of shocked by that. And I thought that Walter might have reacted a little differently, but I think that he knows Paulie has he's going to really think it through. Yeah.
Yeah. His family. And think about it. What Paulie said to Vic when he went to see him. Like, he was like, I took an oath for this family, but he rides for that family. He cares. You can see that he cares about Vic. He was like, you always been a good boy. I wish I had a son like you. So he knew that if he had gone through with that would have broken Vic's heart. And so, he rightfully stood down from that.
Would have messed him up.
And Walter also, he knew that too. That's why he wanted to call it off. And then when he realized that Paulie had never put the hit out in the first place, he wasn't mad at it, because, he knew he was wrong for doing that, or wanting to do it, I should say. But Walter has his problems. He's now sick. We know he has cancer, stage 1 lung cancer.
Which is early.
Yeah. And he seems like he's telling everybody else, though, that he doesn't have long. And the doctor's view seemed kind of optimistic if he would have gotten treatment right away.
But he smokes like a chimney. So
right, because he popped the cigarette in right after that.
Right after that. So, he's going to have problems, and sooner rather than later if he keeps that up.
Mm-hmm. I just wonder, is he going to start taking action, or is he just going to let it run its course?
I think that could be scary for him, because he doesn't know what it looked like. If he gets sick, you know, most people think, okay, if I'm gonna go through treatment and I go through chemo, am I gonna be weak? And if I'm weak, does that signal other people to come in and try to take advantage?
True.
Children included.
Mhm.
Especially
Well,
Claude, because that conversation that she had with Tommy when they were talking about, you know, Tommy pretty much let her know, like, listen, anybody he come for your business, it's protecting my business, and your father included. Like Tommy
Yes.
let her know, and she looked like she was down, like, you know. So I don't put it in past Claude.
Yeah, I don't either, because she's shown us through the past couple of weeks how far she's willing to go with certain people. She done buried about 4 bodies now.
Mhm.
You know
So-
what? That's a good point, because if for whatever reason they think it's terminal, then she may not feel a way if she feels like she got to take her dad out. She may be like, well, he's on his way out anyway. I'm just gonna hurry.
What about
up.
his misery?
Yeah. Yeah, so they better watch out for Claudia. She is the wild card of the family for real. Especially since like this drug. So the drug has hit the streets and everybody's trying to figure out who's behind it. And so Vic has asked Seamus to figure out who's behind it and to take anybody out that is found to be the runner of this drug. Then Jannard is doing the same thing with Blackston and Marshall. He sends out, 20 grand to figure out who's behind it, and they come back and tell him it's the Pilgrim.
It's the Pilgrim. Oh my God.
That cracked me up.
That was a funny line though from Jannard telling them about how they need to take some college courses though.
Yeah.
Learn history.
Yeah.
I was dying.
That was funny. That was funny.
Yeah, but I was thinking about Jannard too, because he is so conniving. The way he and Diamond sat in that barbershop and had that conversation, and Diamond was asking him, like, how would you do things if you were, running it? And he really like played it like, oh yeah, I'm just happy to have a position at, you started CBI, you're gonna end CBI. I just wanted any role I get, I'm blessed. And I'm like, this man.
This is right. He deserves a hands, because that made me nervous for Diamond.
Me
when
too.
He said it started with you and it's gonna end with you. I said, oh, I don't put it past him. He may kill his brother.
But you saw
Right.
Diamond's face. Diamond didn't buy that all the way.
Right.
No,
He side-eyed him and he said, okay, I hear you, but I hear you,
But
Yeah.
It's a couple of things about that. So we talked about Claudia. She tipped her hand because the drug is going to have such demand for people. Figuring out where it comes from puts them in danger before they really have a chance to ramp up the business. So it was
Yes.
dumb, very stupid of her to tip her hand.
Right.
And now Jannard goes and killed one of the pilgrims. We're not gonna say that. One of the Hasidic Jews. One of the Hasidic Jews. And it's almost like, I don't really know that whole situation, but it's almost like that was an unnecessary kill, I think. You know what I mean? Like, why would you make that move right now so early in the game? Because it's gonna have the ramifications of that on top of them starting a war with the Serbs. They're gonna light the whole city up. Like, It just didn't make sense for either of them.
He came across as a fiend. The way he ran up on him, like, give me the pack. I was like, he acting like a fiend instead of a dealer.
True.
And killing him doesn't make sense, because even though you got that 1 pack or 2 packs, what are you going to do when it runs out? You still don't know who the cook is. You don't know how it's being, actually made, where it's being made. So what are you going to do? Start killing all the Hasidic Jews, one by one? You can't do that.
Well, that seems like the plan when he went and reached out to Buddy.
Yeah.
It didn't make sense though.
It didn't make sense, but he was like, I figured he's bringing somebody in to do his dirty work because he knows it's not going to be that easy. So I guess he figured if he talks to the people from over in Gary, gives them a sample and lets them see how good it is, then they'll be willing to do his dirty work in exchange. Which
question then is that like philosophy, or is that the drug game? You figure out a new drug and you automatically figure out that you got to take it over, so you got to kill all the competition. Like, there's no thought that, okay, there are a lot of other things that need to happen that you need to know before you start killing people. And I was just like, so could it be that because Jannard was the little brother looking up, he still has he still doesn't get the business part of the game. He just
Yeah.
gets the game part of the game.
And that's why I thought Diamond was playing him back as well, because Diamond was
so
like,
too.
I want to learn something from you too. It's not, you never get too old to learn, to keep learning. And so I'm like, Diamond is feeling Jannard out just as much as Jannard is kind of playing Diamond.
I think though, in my opinion, Diamond might have made a mistake not listening a little further with to Claudia, Claudia, and here's why. When Claudia offered him 10%, that means he's now in that Dahlia game, because he already suspected it's Dahlia. And having the 10% allows you into the game and allows you also to understand where the drug's coming from. And if you wanted to take over, at least now you know where it is and where it's coming from. So, and that look he had on his face when he let her go, it was a look similar like, did I make a mistake? Because nobody knows where that drug is coming from right now. But if you offer me 10% in, that means I have a way in. Right now, he has nothing.
But he doesn't know who. And that's the thing.
Well, that's my point.
The unknown variable.
She brought it to him. So, and that's when he said, "Is this Dahlia?" And she didn't answer. But she brought it to him. And he knows also that she didn't come all the way down south just to talk about a drug. It has to be something other than what they're normally used to.
No, I get that part. I'm saying I think he was right in what he said about,
definitely.
Like, if you come in here only offering 10%, it means you have partners that you're going behind their back. And that's what I mean when I say he doesn't know. Like, okay, she may have Dahlia, but who are the other partners?
Well, if she offers it, at least he has a minute to think about it. He has time to come, when she comes back, has time to talk about it. Who's in? Maybe she would divulge that information. My point is having a way in, not dealing with her, but having that way in. And then he can decide at that point whether he wants to play ball or not. But my point is trying to get more information. Just throwing her out isn't going to give you any more than you already know, which is nothing.
He's gonna go to Tommy. Watch.
Yeah.
He's gonna go right back to Tommy.
Yeah.
And,
well, Tommy did something to him too. So
And I think the only reason why Claudia may have felt comfortable going to Diamond in the first place is because early in the episode, Tommy and Claudia had that conversation, and he was like, "Yeah, I definitely don't want it in Jannard's hands. If anybody, I would choose Diamond." And so I think that's why she might have felt comfortable approaching him in the first place.
That's exactly why. But he also told her that he was gonna wait for them to sort it out because they have family issues and
exactly.
Stuff. Saw the power struggle between them two. So she deliberately, once again, defied him.
But but wouldn't Diamond also be right to be a little bit suspicious of her? Because it's like, okay, you have this thing, but you're gonna come to me out of all people. Then he has to look at her sideways too. Like, you don't have any other options, because normally you wouldn't think I wouldn't be the first person you come to either.
Yeah. I think he should be very weary of that whole family. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, no, I'm not saying jump into bed with her right away. I'm just saying you need to right now, everybody's going about how to find out who this distributor is all the wrong way. Shooting up the town and killing everybody that you think might be a part of it is not the way to find out who's making this drug. So you got to find a way in, any kind of way. But then you have to be savvy enough to know what to do once you get that break in the door. So I think that's where they got to put their heads together. No, Jannard can't know. And the fact that Jannard went to Gary to distribute the drug and free, with the exception of some muscle, it's just absolutely crazy.
Was I the only one that thought when cousin Buddy took the hit of the drug that his eye was gonna straighten out? I really thought so. I was like, dang, maybe the drug will fix his eye.
No, look again. It did roll over a little to the right a little bit. I think, that eye ain't going.
Y'all wrong for that.
Oh, man.
No, but for real though, Jannard is definitely out of control. I'm, like you said, worried about Diamond. And while we touched on it a little bit with Diamond and Adrian, she kind of explained herself a little bit this week, and Diamond seemed like he might still be willing to work with her if she drops the story.
Mhm.
Do you think he should still fool with her?
I was proud of him. I was
I
proud.
was too. I said, see, he's on it. You know,
Yeah,
he was
he didn't get hooked.
he was playing his position. He was getting what he wanted, and he was
right.
and
Hey,
he was
quit
checking
it.
her out at the same
Right.
time.
Get it and quit it. But you know, but also he didn't get hooked like everybody else gets, you know, as you and I talk about all the time. But so it seemed like he got some sense,
He
you
kept
know,
his
he
head
got
in
what he
swivel.
wanted, and you know, and he woke up.
No,
But
he's
for
still
me,
gonna deal with her. Watch.
but for me, no, she gotta go. Because you can't trust the journalist.
Well,
You can't.
listen.
Okay, I look, I know I used to be one. So
No,
I'm
no,
saying,
no. I'm just saying.
I know,
I'm
look,
just saying.
I'm
I'm
not,
just saying,
let me do
the
this.
thing-
Don't put a blanket on that.
No,
You
I'm
can't
just. I
trust-
was. My next point was.
can't
I was
trust
ready to
some
say.
journalists.
I was just gonna say about Elijah. Like
Mm.
she said that Elijah was
Yeah.
the one
Yeah.
that was meeting with her. So I
Mhm.
was like, "Ooh, what is Elijah on?
Yeah.
What was he on?
What
What was he
yeah.
gonna say?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
you doing, Jeremiah?"
Yeah. So maybe his loyalties wasn't as strong to CBI as maybe Jannard thought. And
Well,
if that's, I'm saying if that's the case, maybe other people in his crew feel the same way.
Yeah, look at D-Mac.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, I mean, you know, this boy, and you know, and it's so realistic too. You know, you got a lot. When the average person looks at what goes on in the hood, they think everybody's stupid. But that boy is a genius. I mean, you can give him numbers like that, and he can just pull it out of the air.
Mhm.
That's genius right there.
Yeah, Tommy was
Yeah.
impressed.
At least with numbers, he couldn't say courier, but he definitely knows his math.
Well,
Right.
that's an that's an language adjustment. We can adjust that. You know, but numbers and then
No,
break.
yeah. Oh,
I mean, you know, he broke it down like, and then millimeters to, you know, I mean, I'm like, okay, I'm impressed.
Yeah, he got to work on his hiding though, because he was out in plain view, and I'm like, you couldn't have thought people wasn't gonna notice you.
Anybody but Tommy, maybe, but not Tommy. You know, Tommy's probably saw him a quarter mile away.
But
you
I
know.
was glad that Tommy, even though he offered him a spot, he still went back and did his due diligence. And I'm like,
Yeah.
good job, Tommy.
Tommy,
Because you
yeah.
got to know anybody that's coming from Jannard's crew, you got to question them.
Mhm.
So now Tommy knows everything. You know, he knows who D-Mac is. He knows the
Mhm.
relationship. And so, yeah, that was a very smart thing to follow. And it's funny, D-Mac couldn't discover Tommy, but Tommy could discover D-Mac anytime he
Yep.
wanted to.
Yep. And then see how it's gonna be interesting to see how he reveals that to JP.
Yeah.
If he does, if you know, I'm still concerned about JP being involved. Like I don't want him working at the lab. I don't want him involved in the business because I feel like something's gonna happen.
I knew
Tommy
Tommy
thinks he's gonna be safe there, but I don't.
Tommy has a soft heart, and I knew he would give him something. I remember I said that he's going to give him something, and I think what he gave him is a pretty good deal. You know,
Yeah, I mean,
the lab is safe, and you
Thank
know he
you.
doesn't have to worry about him being out in the street. And JP, you know, he's on edge. He has to do something, and Tommy knows that he's not going to just take money. So
Yeah.
what do you do?
It would have been safer for him to wash the money. He's actually putting them in harm's way because the
He
drugs
is.
are so sought after. So people gonna be
Exactly.
looking for that lab.
You
know?
see how Jannard and them are going hard looking for like they're gonna look. I mean, I'm nervous for the cook too. I'm worried for the doc. I feel like Jannard and them might try to snatch her up and be like, you gonna cook for us, you know? And if JP and if they even find out that he is remotely close to Tommy and that he's family, you know what they would do to JP? Like that. That's why I don't want him
The
involved.
only person that can give all that information up is Scarface. And that's why
Scarface.
yeah, Scarface. Because you gotta keep her, huh? So again?
D-Mac.
No, I'm talking about Lillian. So
I know, but I'm just saying D-Mac too. He also knows this is dad. I mean, you know.
But D-Mac, I don't think D-Mac isn't, he doesn't know anything about the lab. He doesn't know anything about where his father's working. I'm just simply saying you got to keep Lillian at arm's length, and you know, you got to keep her close because we do know that she can get silly and walk out and do certain things that might harm, you know.
But she did not break. She does not give up. She didn't give Tommy up. That's one thing. She's a soldier though.
I agree, but you still got to keep her in check because that's the only person that's going to give up that information right at this point, unless it's the chemist. But for them to discover her, you have to find out, you got to dig deep. And that's what my point with the diamond. You got to get your foot in some kind of way to know whatever's going on. And right now, nobody knows. So they're just killing everybody in sight, you know. Anybody that has that drug, they're killing them just to find out who is actually, you know, creating this new high.
Yeah, I think with Liliana, I think she wants to get rid of the doc. She already has said as much.
Yeah.
But when she kind of talked to Lauren in the lab and she was telling her all she had been through, I think she was trying to like scare Lauren into submission too.
Yeah.
Because I think at that point she realized, okay, I can't get rid of her. This girl is gonna be sticking around. So let me try to put some fear in her.
And please, JP, don't lay down with that woman because she all up in JP's mouth now.
She's all up in his face.
Well, she said she didn't like white boys, so we know what you know who she likes. She likes the brothers. She was
and she loves his voice.
I mean,
yes. And she said, "Oh, your mom makes good looking." She said, "Your mom make good looking babies."
Everything he said was golden to her.
Yeah. So
and he was like, he was rolling with it too. He was flirting.
Yeah, he was.
I'm worried about that because they're gonna be spending a lot of alone time together.
My point.
So I mean, I think that I always say you cannot mix business and pleasure, especially with Liliana, because she don't like to listen and she's always been a liability. So that could be another way that JP could get harmed.
I'm telling you.
With her and her foolishness.
Yeah.
And so I guess the only other thing I was going to mention was about, okay, so grandma passes away this week. And it looks like JP has called up Kate. So
didn't I say that was gonna happen though? I said grandma was gonna go. I said Kate is coming to Chicago.
Yeah, it definitely seems that way. When she got that phone call, she was shook. Okay, so I wonder how JP is going to receive her or how she's going to receive him, because I'm sure there's going to be a lot of questions. So I feel like JP is going to get a double whammy because I think Tommy is going to find out more about DMAC and maybe Tommy brings it to JP and says like, I think I found your son. And then on the other side, Kate is going to be coming into town and he's going to be giving her the questions. And I think that it's going to be a lot for him to process maybe. On top of all the issues he has with, you know, he said his dad needs a stint. He said the banks was about to foreclose on the business. So JP got a lot going on. And I'm just wondering if he can withstand all that's coming his way. I don't know.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Oh, one of the things that I thought about, I read that, you know, Force, this timeline with Tommy is not the same timeline that Ghost is on, you know, PowerBook 2 Ghost. And that basically Force, you know, it picks up right after Ghost dies and he goes to Chicago. So I'm wondering when Kate comes to town, if or when she finds out that Tommy is alive, will she be the one to tell Tommy that Tasha is on court and everything, and she dropped his name?
And then that's when he picks up and goes
and
back.
That's when he goes back to New York. You know, I'm wondering if they're going to pursue it, if they're going to do it like that. Like,
it would be nice if they did, because then it ties everything together.
That's what it would tie everything together. Like, oh, so really she dropped my name, you know, and then he goes back to New York and he'll be like, I got something. And that could be in the season finale. Like, oh, I got some business to take care of. And you see him head back to New York.
Well, I think we're seeing a preview for next week. Tommy's trying to get a crew together. So if he does do that, I hope he sends somebody. I hope he doesn't go himself back to New York. You know, that could be detrimental for him. And, you know, he needs to hang around Chicago because right now it's too volatile. You know, Chicago's a hot place when it comes to Dahlia. So he'd be smart to send somebody.
Yeah, and I don't know about, because then you mentioned in the previews for next week, Tommy is trying to talk to somebody about putting together a crew.
Mhm.
I don't know if seeking outside help is a smart thing, because that game is so treacherous. You know, you got to really have people you can trust. And so just going to somebody to help you with muscle, like you never know how they could try to swindle you out your spot. And especially, it seems like everybody's doing it. We've seen Jannard doing it with the people from Gary, and it looks like Paulie is going to be doing the same thing, talking to somebody about getting help with the war that they have going on. And so everybody's gearing up to go to war pretty much.
And need mercenaries to do it. No, nobody has enough enough manpower to do what they
Exactly. Yeah, so I'm really interested in seeing what goes down next week, because it looks like Jannard is also talking to Blackson. He's talking about he wants to take back what's his, and I'm like, is he talking about CBI? Because CBI was never really yours.
Well, for 15 years it was, and I felt like he was talking about CBI. And in the preview, it looked like I saw a gun to the back of Diamond's head.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, like the.
I don't think that was Diamond's head, because somebody was at like an ATM.
No, it was Diamond. It was Diamond. Yeah.
Okay.
Somebody put a gun to the back of his head. It was real quick, but
I looked. It looked like a white hand. Could not have. I slowed it down to go.
It was a white hand. Yeah.
But I was trying to figure out if it looked like that jacket that Tommy had on. Say that again, Ron.
That was probably Vic. You know, after this.
Why would Vic go to CBI? That's not.
Gloria's dead now, so you know, and then, well, yeah.
He wouldn't pull a gun on him.
No, I don't think that's Vic.
That ain't Vic.
Well, who could it be? I mean, that's a small
I'm gonna have to go back and look at it, because you know, Tommy in the preview, Tommy had on this taupe color jacket, which is different because he normally always has on dark colors. So I need to go back and look and see if it was him, because it did show the hand and the sleeve.
Yeah, because I didn't think that was Diamond, but I could be wrong. And then of course you got, you know, the Serbs. They really think, the war with the Serbs is still going on. So it's so many layers to this. There's like multiple wars going on at the same time, because I'm sure that those Hasidic Jews are not going to let that slide. And so that's going to be another war that gets started up, like you said earlier, Lawanda. And I'm trying to figure out why Tommy is gearing up for war too, because who does he have to go to war with?
The Jews. I mean, he's gonna for them, because you know how Tommy is when people come for his people.
Like, but they not really his people like that.
Not his people, but he's distributing to them. They getting hit, because remember,
Tommy need to sit and lay this low, and so does CBI now. I mean, you know, because right now I don't think the Jews would think that CBI did it. You know, unless of course somebody saw them or they have some.
I think somebody will see Jannard. I mean,
there might be a camera out there somewhere.
Yeah.
And if they see a black person, they're going to automatically assume it's CBI. So yeah, man, and that right there, see, that's going to put Diamond in a hell of a position.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sucks, because like Jannard really did not think it through.
No,
in terms of the repercussions of doing something like that.
Right.
And he truly does not have the manpower like he think he does. And I think that just dropping bodies, that's not the answer. So looking forward to next week. They really kicked it up a notch this week.
April 10th. You mean April 10th?
Oh, right, April 10th. Next week they're off.
Yeah.
So there's a week in between the next episode. So I'm looking forward to that though, because I think this was like akin to like a mid-season type of episode where you kind of get everything that ramps up. And so I think with Gloria being dead, like this changes the game in terms of how Vic is going to be interacting with people. And then I'm wondering about Seamus too. If Seamus, because Vic gave Seamus the job to figure out who is up to the Dahlia and to put them away, like take them down, basically. And then if he figures out that it's Claudia, that presents a problem for Tommy. But if Seamus gets a hint that maybe Jannard is the one, like maybe he he figures out that the Jews have been robbed and that Jannard and the Jews have this product somehow, then he goes after them. I think that's a way that they can get rid of Jannard in this storyline, because I think that either Jannard is going to get killed or he's going to jail.
Yeah.
And I think that situation with Seamus could set the stage for that.
And Seamus, you know, I mean, I just can't understand this cop. I mean, you know, initially you were just handing over information for money. And then this white cop, you know, he, you know, peeps your card and he wants a cut. And he asks you how much you're making, and you tell him exactly what you're making.
I guess he should have told him how much he was making.
I would say like 50,000, and he made
made up a number. That was like
right. And now you're in a position where Vic wants you to go out and kill. So you just went 2 levels up, and he asked for double. Well, fine, you got rid of your money problem, but now you know you're in a whole new lane now. Now you
talking. The other cop gotta go. He gotta go.
Oh,
he gotta go.
And he will.
Yeah.
But I feel differently. Like you were saying, like, you know, there's a possibility that Jannard might get killed. But I kind of feel like
no, not Jannard, Seamus.
No, I said there's a possibility that Jannard could go. He could either go to jail or he could get killed.
Right.
And I'm saying the situation with Seamus could set the stage for him to possibly like go to jail. Or
then maybe the jail thing, because I kind of feel like right now, I kind of feel like Diamond is gonna be. I mean, he's already been in the middle, but even more so with the Jannard and Tommy thing, because I feel like the way things are building, I feel like things are building to a point that it might be Tommy going at Jannard at some point. I feel like we may get to that point, and Diamond is in the middle, and all I'm thinking about is what Isaac said to us during the interview when he said, you know, well, we may go at each other, but you know, that's your sibling, you're gonna fight together. So I do think about that. But
he did also say that he is being naive in regards to Jannard,
right,
and letting certain things slide because that is his brother. And I think, Ron, your question was really good when you asked him, like, at what point do you put your foot down and kind of say like enough is enough in terms of how far you're willing to let your brother go. And I think Diamond is getting to that point, like especially if he finds out about this deal with the Gary crew.
Yeah, and
so I think that Diamond would take action against Jannard if necessary.
And the first thing he needs to do is get some eyes on the street. He can't hang in that barbershop. He needs some eyes in the street to figure out who's doing what, because everybody else is doing that. You know, Jannard had eyes on Tommy. You know, get some eyes out there to tell you what's going on, because if you're just going to take the word of your brother, you're always going to be in the dark.
Yeah, and I bet Tommy gets word that that the Jews were hit, and then maybe Tommy brings that information back to Diamond, and then Diamond's like, this sounds like Jannard. You know, I wonder if he figures that out through Tommy, and then it's like, okay, so you did exactly what I told you not to do. Like Tommy and Diamond got the same problem with having partners that go behind their back and do what they want to do.
I'll tell you how it's going to happen. Jannard's going to bring the drug back, and he's going to show Diamond, and Diamond's going to put 2 and 2 together, and it's going to equal the Jew that was killed, and Diamond's going to automatically say, now you brought a lot of heat on CDI. What are we going to do? And he really, at that point, when that happens, he has to make a decision about his brother.
Yeah.
I have a question then. Does it seem like Diamond is only the head of CBI in name only, because it seems like all the soldiers are loyal to Jannard anyway?
That's about
good point.
That's about the way it looks.
Yeah.
It does look that way.
Yeah. So
because he's definitely not on the same page with none of the stuff they want to do
at all. And I don't like I said, I don't like how Jannard is playing Diamond and trying to make him think that he's falling in line. So I think Jannard gets the hands, like you said. Claudia gets the hands.
Yeah.
Anybody else y'all want to add to the list?
For the hands?
Well, Seamus.
Those 2.
Did you say Seamus?
I mean, he can, but I think Jannard and Claudia for sure.
Oh, for sure.
Game ball, what we said, Diamond this
Diamond
week.
The game ball, yeah.
Okay. I can get down with that. I'm okay with Diamond getting the game ball. I'm
so
looking
proud of him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He did good this week, letting it be known. I just want him to do the same thing with Jannard and let Jannard know I'm on to you as well.
Yeah.
So I think that's coming soon though.
So will that force Jannard's hand? I mean, I feel like Jannard is such a wild card. And not only that, because he's reckless, but he's on the stuff too. I mean, he acting like a fiend, and so he's not rational. So what if he kills Diamond? I worry about that all the time.
He better not, man.
I know.
Pull up on Jannard. Jannard can really get the hands.
Yeah, right.
So let's just keep hope alive. Hopefully this has the ending that we want in terms of Diamond making it through, and maybe Jannard just going to jail or something like that. But yes, looking forward to the next episode. I want to thank everyone for watching. Please drop down in the comment section and let us know your thoughts on this episode and give us your predictions as well. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to our channel, and click the notification bell so that you get alerted whenever we post, because we do have some good content coming as always. So just make sure you tuned in with us. You guys have anything else you want to add?
No, I'm good.
I can poll the audience about some of the things they watch. Like, I mean, I know we were supposed to do a poll on YouTube, but I want to know if anybody watches Atlanta, would they be interested in seeing some Atlanta recaps from us? Bel-Air.
Yeah,
so Bel-Air is at the end of the season.
Yeah, there's a lot of good content out there, and we can't cover it all, but maybe we can touch on like some of the things that you guys really want to see, even if it's as an overview of the whole season and maybe not episode by episode. So just let us know your thoughts and what you think we should recap that you would like to see as well. And if you guys don't have anything else to add, I think we'll call it a night. All right. So thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
For the record, I'm done trying to make y'all comfortable. For the record, you ain't trying to grow, then it's done for you. For the record, lab on me going all the way. For the record, ain't trying to link, no time to waste. For the record, for the record, yeah. For the record, yeah. For the record, yeah. For the record, for the record, yeah. For the record. Been a little too nice to y'all. Now I gotta up price on y'all. Snake guys on